Hello and welcome back to Retrotainment Recast. Don't adjust your sets. I am still the man. This is slightly different though. Because I've beaten all three of the lads. Ted beaten once, Carl got beat twice, Carl Sherlock, I pipped on a draw.
I beat about 8 million times.
But,
I know.
but I'm still the man.
No need.
I am still the man. So tonight, to only make it fair rather than just starting a rotation again, I gave the boys a triple threat match to see who actually gets the right to take me on.
Ooh, to earn it now.
He's getting cocky in his old age.
So I set the movie. Normally the loser sets the movie. I set the movie.
For a loser.
And I gave the boys the daunting task of the Big Lebowski. So I'm going to introduce the lads here tonight. Ted, who has the number one contender up there.
I'm number one contender. How we doing, lads?
Very,
number one contender.
very confident that he wants to be there.
Yeah.
We have royalty himself, my co-host from On the Slab, Mr. Carl KingWoe, and we have the man who came back from. We have the man who came back from paternity leave to yet another defeat.
Draw.
Mr. Carl Sherlock.
Draw defeat.
Continuing the Kurt Hawkins.
Break one day.
I've got to put this out here before we do that. Does that continue? Because technically he didn't lose.
He didn't win.
Absolutely, he did. Absolutely, it counts.
Yeah, because some of this streak has been draws as well.
Yeah, he didn't win. The issue is not winning.
Same thing that I got done on for one of them.
Yeah.
For one,
I pleaded my case. I pleaded my
now.
case that I did not lose that week, but I did not earn the title. Carl, you didn't earn the title last week, although it was a much better effort that you've had than in the last
In recent,
few shows in the build-up to the baby. We'll put that down to baby nervousness.
Baby jitters.
But lads, how are we this evening?
Great. Not too
Speaking
bad.
of babies, I'm tired.
I'd well believe it.
We're 8 weeks in now. You know, I'm sure if you've had a kid, you know 8 weeks is a rough age.
Oh yeah. Wait till the teething starts.
Oh God. Knock its teeth
Not
out.
far away, neither.
Just knock its teeth out. It'll only cry for a short time. Then.
Let's just let them
issues.
let them experience it. Don't even tell them any stories. You know.
So, lads, I made it a bit different tonight. Obviously, being a triple threat, we can't have a three-way draw. I need to find a winner tonight. So I've given you a list of 10. Right, I'm gonna pick 7. Should there be a draw, I'm gonna give you the 3 others. And then obviously the person with the most points at the end wins.
Yep.
Hopefully. Yeah. And if for some reason there's a draw after that, we're gonna flip a coin.
Shouldn't be. There shouldn't be.
As it says, we're gonna go 7.
No.
If needs be, we'll extend it to 10.
So wait, if there's a draw after 7, is it we're doing one of the other 3? And if then there's a draw on that,
it'll go all 3.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that makes it a bit fair.
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah, it's like forcing extra time and having a golden goal.
Yeah. Well, golden goal would be just one pick.
One at a time.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. But it's like having golden goal. I fucking hated that.
Yes, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Next goal wins.
So, lads, can you send your picks in?
Yep.
Yeah.
Have them ready to go now.
Here's mine.
Taking the picture now.
3, 2, 1.
Oh no, I'm just taking the picture.
Carl's cheating.
I'm not looking. I can show you the screen.
It's a fix. So,
They're all
Ted,
sent
I
in
confirm I have
There you
yours.
go.
Oh, Carl's is sent in by a message. And Carl, yours is loading. I just have to wait to see it. Yep, Grant. Right,
Okay.
so I can confirm for any draw that I will check. Hopefully there is none, but
I'm sure
we
there's
like to
bound to be one
On my
somewhere.
luck. No, on my luck.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just along for the ride, so whatever happens, happens.
Right, so we will get started. And do you know what? We're going to start with the girl whose movie this is based around. She doesn't do a whole lot, really.
Nice
but
feet.
we're going to start with Bunny.
Tara Reid.
So obviously this had came off the back, or this put her into American Pie.
Yeah.
this kind of set her up into American Pie and a couple other of those teenage movies that she went into. So what I'll do is I'm going to pick randomly throughout it because there's obviously no way of just running a rotation. So everyone will get at least 2.
Yeah.
Not he won't, but shut up.
Everyone will get at least 1.
Right. I'm gonna start with Daddy himself, Mr. Carl Sherlock.
Right. For this one, I went with someone who is up and coming, which I thought Tara Reid was at the time, and it's someone I have used before. Actually, looking back at all the old ones, I've used her quite frequently. Actually, I went with Catherine Newton for this role. I think she it's a breakout role enough that she'd do it. She's not too big not to do a small-ish role like this.
Yeah.
And I think she'd suit it as well.
Yeah, that is a good show.
It's a bit more of an adult role for her as well.
It's a bit more of an adult role.
Literally.
Yeah.
Ted?
I've used this person before as well. They're a little bit younger than Tara Reid was when she did this film, but they've played a similar enough role in a film recently. I went with Jenna Ortega.
Nice. We all know Jenna.
Yeah, obviously the film I'm talking about is X for anyone who hasn't seen it. But
Scream and
yeah, well, what I meant more is X is like kind of more similar to the character she plays in this specifically.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. And Carol?
I just went for fucking looks in this because I just want to see this one like this. I went with Lily James. I know she's probably a bit older, but I just love to see her in that little position, you know.
I mean, all you have to do is watch Pam and Tommy.
I know, but that would make me want to see more of her, you know.
There's not much left to see after watching that, I'll tell you that.
I know, it's great. I'd watch her all day.
God bless Disney. Well, gents, we do have a lead here, and it is the King. I had Lily James as my pick. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And I will show you just to confirm.
No, it's grand. Like, even if you didn't, it's
all good.
Still your pick. Yeah.
There she is.
In all her glory.
I had a backup in Hayden Panettiere, but I moved away from her because I felt she was a little bit older than the role.
She absolutely would not have got you anywhere.
No, I'm not saying she would.
Was I close with Catherine Newton there?
Ted was probably closer with Jenna Ortega.
I think Catherine Newton was a good show, I have to say.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Not that she's a bad show, just
not the show.
I think Jenna being up that much more up and coming now that she's going to be she has every potential to be a star, a mega star.
Yeah,
you know, I have this thing in my head that if they were making these type of any of the films that were recasting now, they always want big stars in them, you know, big, small, and it's a different way of thinking for filmmakers, I think, and film studios maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's sometimes for like a role like that though is kind of the issue is it's such a small amount of screen time. You don't want to get someone too big either.
You don't want to blow your budget, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to blow the budget on like maybe 10 minutes worth of screen time throughout the entire film. Yeah. If even actually. Might even be like 5.
Right. Well, there's a start. The King jumps out in front again.
Yeah.
I hope we start well.
That's what she said.
He's got no stamina on him.
Genetic jackhammer.
I cannot kick. It's got to save me. Right, lads. We're gonna go with the one who got the spin-off off this. We're gonna go with Jesus, who was John Turturro, or however you say his name.
John Turturro, yeah.
Man, what an actor he is.
Yeah.
Like the range of movies he's done.
Yeah.
He's very good, yeah.
He's still going as well. Was he not in?
He was in Batman,
wasn't he?
Batman.
Yeah.
Falcone, yeah.
Very good as Falcone in that as well.
Yeah.
He was good. The movie was disappointing, but
the movie wasn't great.
It's just it's a building block, that film, like, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with the king here.
Okay. So, this was one of the ones I found very hard. I have to be honest, because I was trying to go into, the kind of Latino actor type look, all that kind of thing. So the only one really that I could think of was, and he's in and around the same age group, and I think you guys have used him before, but I went with Pedro Pascal.
I know, favorite on the show. He saved me many a day.
I like Pedro.
Ted?
I thought along the similar lines of the king, but I went with someone who's maybe not as big a name as Pedro Pascal at the moment, but still recognizable enough, and has that kind of jokey demeanor about him, in Michael Pena.
Nice.
He was one of my ones initially.
Yeah, like I could see him doing the whole thing where he's like grabbing at his crotch and all, like giving the lad shit. I'm just like, that is him all over. Like,
yeah, I went with Michael Pena as well.
Fuck's sake, Carl.
I just thought he was the perfect choice for it, really, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I did as well. Like, I don't even have another name down there. That I was like,
same.
him, done.
So Pena was my backup.
Oh dear.
Pedro Pascal was my pick.
I do not think Pedro Pascal plays a jokey role like that.
Have you seen The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent?
No, haven't seen it yet.
That's why. Go and watch that and then come back to me and you'll see exactly what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know.
He plays that jokey, funny, serious kind of character in that. He's so fucking good.
Yeah, it's what, 5 minutes of screen time?
I don't see him taking that role.
Very iconic, though. It's a very iconic role.
It's a memorable role, but that's because of the actor making it memorable. Do you know what I mean? Is Pedro Pascal taking a 5-minute role at this point in his career? I don't know.
He's still on the rise. I know he's big for the Mandalorian.
He's pretty much A-list at this stage.
Yeah. Well, that's who I went with. Sheely for that performance in The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. And it was like, I know you said you haven't seen it, Ted. Have you seen it, Carl?
Not yet, no.
No.
Yeah. When you watch it, you'll actually understand. Do you know how I've come back and said that I've got a couple wrong? Like the likes of taking Kilmer or Brosnan over Kilmer in Gone in 60 Seconds.
What?
Yeah.
It wasn't Brosnan over Kilmer.
Or I picked Brosnan. I did pick Brosnan.
Yeah, but it wasn't over Val Kilmer. I didn't pick Val Kilmer.
Anyway.
Who was it? Oh, it was over Kurt Russell, was it?
Over Kurt Russell.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have picked Val Kilmer, who's like,
you can't talk.
Who's on death's door. I wouldn't have picked him. Like,
that's
not like a shot at him, but like, I wouldn't have picked him for that film. Like,
especially in this day and age.
I've come back and said that I got that one wrong.
Yeah.
Right? You'll come back to me when you watch that, and you'll be like, okay, yeah, I see that.
I think we all need to watch it.
I don't think I will.
I still think Michael Pena is a great choice for this one, but however.
Yeah.
Well, I will give you that. Michael Pena was my backup.
Yeah.
And I had Diego Luna in there as well.
Don't know if I know Diego Luna.
He's in the new Star Wars.
He was in Rogue One. He was the lead alongside Year One. And he's going to be the lead in Andor.
Oh,
he is casting Andor.
Yeah, I do know him, yeah.
Right. Well, King, you've been in this position before.
Shut up. Something will happen. You have to put the fucking markers on it now. Wait, you see.
King, odds are if you get one more right, you basically win now.
Yeah, pretty much. Need one.
Statistically, it would be an anomaly if you don't.
Yeah, because it's not
Carl,
like it's 1v1
remember you were 3-1 up.
Yeah, but it's very different because that's just 1 versus 1. This is very different. The points can be split in so many different ways here now.
It would have to take the 3 away for me to potentially do something.
Right.
Where are we going there?
Tough one now. I'm going to go with the Big Lebowski himself.
Jeff Lebowski?
Yeah.
The Jeffrey.
This one was tough.
Right. Ted,
I had one name for this, and that was it.
Really? I had loads of names for this.
As you haven't started yet, Ted?
Yeah, so in my backups, I had Brendan Gleeson and Richard Kind.
Nice.
I think Richard Kind would have been very, very good at it. But I remembered that Greg hasn't actually watched Gotham, so like that's the role that he does this character so well in, is in Gotham. He's really good at the kind of really confident, but also a fucking idiot in Gotham. But Greg hasn't seen that, so I didn't know. So I went with somebody else who can play this kind of very full of himself role, but at the same time, everyone, like, nobody thinks much of him. In someone I don't think we've used before, Dirk Blocker, who's Hitchcock in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can see him marrying some 20-year-old girl, thinking that like she loves him, and then being like, oh, she's left. I'll say it was a kidnapping, and then I'll have to give her any more money. This is great, but he actually has no money. He's just like borrowing it off his
daughter.
Is she his daughter?
Maud
is, yeah. So like he's getting the money off Maud, but like he also steals from a charity. That's like Hitchcock would definitely steal from a charity.
Yeah, but we're not casting Hitchcock though.
Yeah.
No, but Dirk plays Hitchcock, and he plays him very well. So he can obviously play that type of character that's willing to steal from a charity. Also, everyone thinks he's a fucking idiot, but he thinks really highly of himself, and he chases girls that are like a third of his age.
Well, wheels around after them in a wheelchair.
Yeah, well, that's good. I didn't say he chases them by running. Hitchcock spends a lot of time in a seat, you know.
He Benny Hills them around the
Yeah, that guy was able to get upstairs in his chair, you know. I'm not doubting his ability in a wheelchair.
Right, what you got, King?
Me, sorry. Jeff Lebowski. Yeah. So again, there was a couple. I was thinking Brian Cox at one point. I'm thinking who can play Cranky and all the things basically that Ted said. But I wanted to try this one out to see, like, I could see this guy, and I don't know if you've used him before. Mel Gibson. There you go. He's a cranky old man.
Okay.
I think I'm using someone here that I've never used before. I don't know if he's actually been used previously, and King, you might live to regret it, because I went with Brian Cox.
No way.
Oh. I think he will play this role, and he kind of looks like him.
He looks kind of, yeah.
He does kind of look like him.
I think Brian Cox is a bit too lovable. Like, people really like Brian Cox.
Brian Cox can play.
He was the original Hannibal Lecter, for fuck's sake.
He's a tyrannical arsehole.
Yeah.
Especially, I've only seen little bits of it, but I mean, if you have seen anything of Succession,
he's very versatile actor.
He is. Brian Cox is an outstanding actor, and he would be perfect for this role. You're kind of living to regret that. You're kind of thinking back on it now, King, aren't you? You know it's the right choice.
Greg?
Right, I'm just checking up on Brian Cox there. Yeah, I'm just making sure he's still going. I actually thought he retired about 15 years ago.
No,
he does have movies. Yeah, he has movies coming out.
Succession.
He does ads for Virgin now.
I mean, if they want to throw a lot of money at you, you're going to do it, right?
Yeah.
Brian Cox is a great show.
Yeah.
Carl, you're going to live to regret that. I'm giving it to Brian Cox. I'll give you my pick now. I went with someone that hasn't been used before either. I went with Kelsey Grammer.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Kelsey Grammer. Was he not used on a very early one?
He might well have been, but I don't think so. But
if he wasn't, he might have been a backup I had on a very, very early one.
That was my pick. I think he goes in there absolutely.
Kelsey Grammer's not a bad shout. Yeah.
I think in hindsight, I'm raging. I didn't think Cox.
If you picked Cox, you were home and dry basically.
Yeah.
What happened? Imagine being 3-0 up in the first to 4 and losing.
Shut up, you.
Right. So, as I says, we had some there. News don't know what ones are going in. Yeah. And there might be some blaring emissions in here. Right? So, this is one that went around the group chat when we were picking the characters. I'm gonna put the stranger in now.
Oh, okay.
Such
This is
an
my-
unimportant character.
This is my big gamble.
So unimportant.
But
This
now,
was my big gamble.
Yous could have had a look at this and went, "That's one he's going to use in a tiebreaker should it get there." And now I've thrown it in here, which means who doesn't make the top 7?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I know who doesn't make the top 7 now.
Oh yeah, we definitely know.
Well, you can work it out now. But
Yeah, there's 3 people that have to be in it. So
Yeah.
anyway, I think now if I was in your position here, lads, I think my pick here is perfect. Right? So I'm going to start it off with Mr. Sherlock with the gamble.
With the gamble, okay. And the only reason it's a gamble is because of the person I picked. Okay.
Now, Carl, if you pick the same person, you're not getting the point.
The reason I picked this person is I was trying to choose kind of an old cowboy type guy who has a really kind of important voice. And I'm not just choosing this person because he was in the movie, in the original. I've gone with Jeff Bridges.
Okay.
Not just choosing him for because he was in the original, but basically I think he actually suits the role.
I love Jeff Bridges.
He has that southern drawl that he can put into this, and you can just picture him doing that small little role because that's what he does these days. That's if he is going to do something, it's something small like that.
King.
I went with what I know of this lad, and I think he's quite. He can be quite a versatile actor. Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Oh, Negan.
Yep. That's what I think, anyway.
He's after being cast in the new series of The Boys.
yeah,
Oh, that'll be good.
it'd be interesting to see what he's doing in it.
Yeah,
I'd love him to be like a real straight-laced, not a fucking murderer. I'd love him to do that now. It'd be so funny because everyone's going to expect him to come in and be like a fucking badass. I'd love him to come in and be like a cowardly fucking lion. Like,
right, Ted.
I went nice and easy on this. This character is, as I said in the group chat, I think this character is so unimportant to the film. He literally does a 5-second narration at the start, has a very small clip where he's sitting at the bar with him, and then does a little narration at the end. That's about it. But if you're talking narrators, Jeff Goldblum. That's the only thing. That's the only thing the only reason you're bringing him into this film is to do that little narration at the start, because the scene where he's sitting at the bar adds nothing to the film. You could cut it out. So the only thing you're using him for is that fucking narration. And if you get someone to narrate, it's Jeff Goldblum. Like,
you really hate that character, don't you?
I don't hate the character. It's just all of yous were like, no, you need to have the strength. You need to have the strength. I was like, he's so unimportant. You could take out the narration. He might be unimportant,
but he's the thing that's memorable about the movie.
You're hearing the story through him as well. He starts off.
He starts off the narration. Honestly, watch that film and just skip past the narration. The fucking story flows just the same without that narration. You don't need that narration. It adds nothing to the story. Like,
but the great thing about it is it's in there, so you kind of have to.
Yeah. So all you need it for is someone who has a good narrating voice.
Really
I need a V on it. You know what I mean?
I really don't think that's a good choice for Goldblum.
No.
All you're bringing him in for is to do the narration. That's literally all you're bringing this guy in for. And then you want a guy who's kind of suave looking, sitting at the bar with a cowboy hat on. Jeff Goldblum's a suave looking guy.
He's not a cowboy.
He's not a cowboy.
Neither is the other cunt. Just stick a cowboy hat on him. The other cunt's not a fucking cowboy
Sam
either.
Elliott looks a hell of a lot more of a cowboy than Jeff Goldblum.
I think we should have just went with your idea, Carl, and just put Sam Elliott in there.
Yeah, Sam Elliott.
You should have just put Clint Eastwood in.
That was my original, was Sam Elliott. And I was just like, I can't do that because we've said that we can't do that.
Yeah.
So
Clint Eastwood would have been the perfect choice, lads.
Except he's 92.
40 years ago, yeah.
No one wants to see Clint Eastwood.
Good director, though. Good director.
Yeah. He is, but he's definitely too old to do that.
Yeah.
I went with Billy Bob Thornton here.
Billy Bob's a
good choice. Yeah.
I was really happy with that one now. I must say, I was
really
happy with that one.
Yeah. Well,
Jeff Bridges
is a good choice.
2 people are on my backup list here.
Oh.
Jeff Goldblum has to be one of them.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan was not one of them.
Oh no.
He most definitely was not. Goldblum was my second backup.
No way.
Yeah. So I went. Sorry, my main backup. No,
Sorry,
it was my second choice. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, let
Sure.
me rephrase that. It was my second choice. Yeah.
Goldblum's a
Purely
terrible
for the
choice
narration.
that.
Yeah,
The
all he's
narration
doing is the
alone.
narration. All you're doing is getting a narrator in.
But he doesn't have that look, and he doesn't have that southern drawl at all.
Jeff
I'm with
Goldblum
Carl
is
on
a
that.
southern
You
drawl
know,
if he needs to.
that's what's iconic about that role is you have
The role's not iconic.
Boy.
Let's get something straight, Ted. You don't like the film. We all do. It's iconic.
The role is not iconic.
That's what about that role that I'm trying to convince you just before the decision is completely made here.
Yeah.
Like Goldblum is not he's not a cowboy. There's no literal aspect or any way is he believable as a cowboy, because any role that Jeff Goldblum is in is Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. You could imagine either of our picks as a cowboy, in fairness, Carl.
Yeah, you could.
Sam Elliott's not a bleeding cowboy.
But his main
He's
role over
believable.
the last 50 years has been cowboys.
No, he's not. He's not a cowboy either.
It's not going to change my mind, lads. I went
That's a
purely off the
terrible choice.
narration alone.
Yeah,
That's
all.
That's
all
a
this is.
terrible choice.
Who did
That's
you
all it
pick
is.
anyway? Who did you pick, Greg?
Billy Bob Thornton.
He had Billy
yeah,
Bob,
that's
but
right.
he's going with me
Yeah.
because all this is a narrator.
Yeah.
Also,
Literally,
Kevin,
that's all. That's
also Kevin
I mean,
Bridges probably would have failed
he's not
based
going to
on
be
the.
narrating as normal. He's going to be narrating
Jeff-
as Jeff
Bridges.
Goldblum, and it's just going to
Sound like Jeff Goldblum.
sound like Jeff
If they-
Goldblum
If they took out
stuttering
the
over everything.
if they took out the narration of the film and they were like, let's just have a guy sitting at the bar and
They
not have him
haven't.
speak and not have him speak at all. Let's just have him sitting at the bar beside him. I would rather see Jeff Goldblum sitting in that. I'd be like, oh, it's Jeff Goldblum. I would much prefer that than anybody else. Like,
we've
Well, that's not
got we've got the first contentious point of the episode, lads.
Yes,
That's a
absolutely.
terrible decision.
no, well, the second, because I think me and Carl both think that your Michael Pena was the correct choice. I think that's the more contentious one.
No,
I'm getting
I
screwed
thought
over twice here.
I thought
No, you didn't get
Goldblum going
screwed
in
over.
was perfect.
You wouldn't
As
have
a
got that
backup.
point anyway with because you were using someone that was already in the film, and we've said before that
We would
Not to
not
do
the
that.
same role,
it
but
doesn't matter if it's not the same role. We've said
It's-
we've knocked each other
If
out
it-
before on
it's-
stuff like that.
It
but if
has
it
been
suits-
used
but
against
if it
me for
suits-
It's
but
been
if it
used-
suits.
Yeah, but it's been used against Greg as well, so he definitely wasn't going to go
Twice.
for it. Yeah,
twice.
you got to remember what's bitten Greg in the arse before when he's judging.
You guys never forget
say,
this.
I will say I did have Bridges as a backup as well. So whether I had the balls, if I was in your place to pick him, having been screwed over twice.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd shoot it. I think I'd just rather Jeffrey Dean Morgan get that than Goldblum, to be honest. I think
That'd be game over then, Carl.
I know it would be game over. I know it would, but I think Goldblum's a terrible choice.
Doesn't matter now,
anyway,
Carl. It's done.
Billy Bob was my choice, but let's go with that. Right. So we move to the three big ones. Donnie, Walder, and the dude. We're gonna go with Steve Buscemi here, and we're gonna go with Donnie, whose name isn't
I
actually
wrote
Donnie.
down the wrong one on my fucking page.
Let's go with Carl first.
Let's actually go with Carl first, then. Seeing as he's made that blaring omission.
I wrote it. They look so similar, and I just because I had both of them in my head, I wrote down the wrong one. He was still my backup, so I still think he could do it, but he's not my first choice. Jesse Eisenberg.
I can confirm that's what is wrote down.
Yeah.
Who was your other choice?
Michael Cera.
Okay.
Boys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my headphones stopped working there, just so you know.
Okay. I had Michael Cera as a backup as well, but
Yeah,
he's too young. He's too young.
I still think Jesse Eisenberg suits it pretty well.
I have something very similar to Eisenberg in Evan Peters.
Oh,
Okay.
I went a little bit older again than that. Not much older, because obviously they're not a whole lot older. And I don't think we've used them before in Joel David Moore. who you would
Let
think
me get my phone.
don't dodgeball. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, it's Steve the Pirate. That
Okay.
guy. Not the guy who
Oh,
plays
the little
Steve the
skinny
Pirate.
lad.
The little skinny whippet who's like,
Oh,
not
no.
the one who's a cheerleader. Not the one who's a
Skinny guy.
Has
cheerleader.
he done anything since?
He's done a
No.
few bits and pieces.
Has he?
Yeah, he's like nothing major. Like he's in Avatar, which I suppose is relatively major.
Yeah, that's a decade ago.
No, Avatar that's coming out this
Oh,
year.
yeah, that's because he had the role in the first one.
Yeah, but he was in
Yeah.
hiding. I don't know what hide and seek is, but it came out in 2001. He was in that. Like
Oh.
he has
He
steadily.
was. Yeah, he was in Hatchet as well.
Yeah,
in
he
Hide and
steadily
Seek.
he's steadily kept acting, and he's the perfect whipping boy, because let's face it, that's all Donnie is in this. Shut up, Donnie! Shut up, Donnie! He's just a whipping boy, and Joel David Moore is nothing more than a fucking whipping boy.
Also, I think Jesse Eisenberg is the first time we've actually used him in this as well, isn't it?
Think so, yeah.
Yeah, I like Jesse
I know his
Eisenberg.
reputation. I know his reputation has been hit majorly after his Lex Luthor role.
Yeah,
After as well.
Lex Luthor.
He was shite. Well, they shouldn't have cast him
Well,
as Lex Luthor, but
that's not his fault. He was cast
No.
as the script was bad.
yeah,
So, but he's
Terrible
a good actor.
movie
I mean,
overall.
you just have to look at Social Network. He was fantastic in that.
I didn't watch Social Network.
Oh, you should. You definitely should.
Not a fan of him at all, I have to say. Really not a fan of him.
I'll give you a funny one. Obviously, he came off Superbad and stuff, right?
Mm.
And he done a movie called Camp Hell, right?
Yeah, oh Jesus.
Right? It's a horror movie, so I says, fuck it, I'll give it a watch. 47 seconds he's in that movie, and he is the only name on the box.
Yeah.
Jesse
Who?
Eisenberg.
Really?
Jesse Eisenberg, Camp Hell, I thought, grand. Good seeing in a
dead.
different role. 47 seconds, and he gets swallowed up by the ground. And I was like,
Yep.
Right, this movie's going off very soon.
Yeah.
So
I had a few other people, someone that we hadn't used before as well as a backup in, but again, I just felt they were too young. In Zach Wood, who played Gabe in The Office. But
you'd
again,
definitely lost with that. You'd
again,
definitely
too
lost.
young. Well, again, just whipping boy is all I'm thinking about here.
But see, Donnie's a little bit crazy in this too. That's
No.
what
Not
he
really,
is, like,
though. Like he doesn't
he's
do
all
anything
up
crazy.
for it. He's all up for it. Like
He has a
fucking
heart
going
attack
mental.
the first time they have a little fight.
Hey, don't speak ill of the heart around the king here.
I'm still here, don't worry. I didn't die.
Yeah, but the king wasn't having a heart attack when there was like a few words being thrown across the road at some other lad, you know?
So
A couple of soft boys across the road.
as I said to you before we came on, I had a perfect pick that I thought of going to work the other day. I forgot to write it down. Now I can't remember who it is.
I
So
think
I'm gonna
I think
leave.
it was Joel David Moore. That's who I think your perfect pick was.
I can fully tell you it definitely was not, because I didn't even know his name. I had Bill Skarsgård in. Now I did think of someone better. I genuinely, for the love of no money, can't think of who it was now. Obviously Bill Skarsgård played Pennywise. He's in a new movie called Barbarian.
Quite young though, isn't he?
He
That'd
might
be
well- I
like
think
that'd be
he's
my
in
only
his-
thing. He's quite young.
Well, how old is he? Because Donnie was
Donnie's
39.
Donnie was 42.
He's
So how old
42.
is
I'd say
Skarsgård's
Skarsgård probably in
32.
his 30s. Yeah.
32, so 10 years in the difference. Like I know it's not a massive difference, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
you'd still think of Bill Skarsgård as quite a young guy. Like these are meant to be kind of older guys in the whole film. Do you know what I mean?
He looks young. Yeah.
Jesse Eisenberg's 38. I'll throw that in.
Yeah. Like I'm not saying Bill Skarsgård's a bad choice, but that's why I would have looked at him. I'd have said, he might be a little bit.
I just see Jesse Eisenberg playing whipping boy has been thrown around, but he can really sell it in his face. He's a great face actor, and they do a lot of zoom in shots in this flick that just has a lot of focus on the faces. Yes, I go really technical sometimes with my picks.
Right, I'm gonna ask you a question here, right? You just said you go technical on your picks, right?
Sometimes.
you put down the wrong pick. So you're just using the
I
argument
did.
you had from Michael, Sarah.
No, because I had different arguments for each. Different arguments for each.
Well, Ted, you're not getting a point here.
Really, I really think he works well as the whipping boy, the kind of weird looking guy who they're just like shut up all the time, and he has no contribution in anything else other than being told to shut the fuck up.
Shut up, Ted.
Sorry, Ted, but that's not happening. Carl, I will tell you, Eisenberg's a better pick than Sarah, but Peters is a better pick.
Is it though?
Yes.
In my opinion, I think he'd fit in.
Yeah.
Better.
Definitely.
And I think, like looking at, I think he just sits in a little better. I like Eisenberg. I do. It's just I can't see. And I know what you're saying about the whipping boy.
No, I said about the whipping boy.
Yeah, but the point's still there. Like being a whipping boy of the group.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Evan Peters is. I think he's too strong for that.
He can play that kind of.
But he's like anything I've seen him in recently, and I've seen him in a couple of things. He actually popped up in Mayor of Easttown.
Whatever that is.
It was actually a what's your one from Titanic? What's her name?
Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet. So she did a show there last year, and he pops up in it, and like he's a detective, who's gotten promoted, and he's actually been called in to cover her case. Who's to help out with her case? He's in the FBI, and like he's really good in it. But he's a strong character, and like anything I've seen him in recently, he's a strong character. Like anything I've seen him in, actually, I don't
He's a
see
little bit of a bitch in X-Men, isn't he? When he plays Maximoff.
Yeah.
Is he though?
I don't know that he's a bitch in
Is he
X-Men.
though? I mean, he's a superhero who's running quick and kicking ass. He runs. I mean, they overused the gimmick in X-Men because, of course, Fox did, and they ruined it. But I mean,
Fox ruined everything.
Yeah, so I mean, he wasn't being the whipping boy whatsoever. He was a strong character in it. I don't think I've seen him playing a weak character.
I could see him playing a weak character.
At least weak mentally, and that's.
Do you know who you could see playing a weak mental character? Joel David Moore. That's who plays a weak mental character.
Winner, Ted.
That's who plays a weak fucking character all the time. Anything I've ever seen the guy in, he's just the fucking dud. Like, if you put him in The Simpsons, and do you know that episode of The Simpsons where they're playing whatever game when on that fucking holiday, and Homer's like, "You got the dud," and it's a picture of Milhouse. It'd be a picture of Joel David Moore, lads. I'm telling you.
He doesn't even get to play in dodgeball till near the end.
Yeah, and then they're constant
team manager.
Yeah, and they're constantly at him. Do you know Steve the Pirate?
Jesse Eisenberg is definitely a better choice than Peters, though.
Doesn't know who Steve the Pirate is. Doesn't know who Steve the Pirate is until the guy walks in with his haircut. Doesn't look like a pirate anymore. Goes, "Hey, Steve the fucking Pirate, man."
Craig, are these lads trying to scratch for a point to stop this inevitability?
Yes. Absolutely. Carl, I'm telling you what, I'm kicking you off on the slab, even though you and Ian started it, if you don't win from here.
Well, I'm
3-1 up. You're 3-1 up.
3-1. Oh, cool.
You agree, Ted, that Peters isn't better.
Yeah, I agree. Joel David Moore is. I agree. Joel David Moore is a better.
Okay.
Pick. Evan Peters, my argument would be, is probably a bit young. Again, only in his mid-30s.
Eisenberg is a better pick than Peters, though. Yeah.
No way.
Both are worse picks than Joel David Moore.
Okay. Anyway, we're moving on because I'm not hearing that name. I'm not hearing that name, Joel David Moore, again.
What name?
Exactly.
Joel David Moore.
Joel David Moore for president, lads. Over. Right. So we'll move on to the big man, Walter.
What an idiot.
He's
you really not like this film, Ted, do you?
No, his character is like an idiot. You know, like he's very good. Don't get me wrong. I think he plays the character very well, but the character is just like an idiot. Do you know? He's just like, do you know what? We'll screw them over, and you're like, I don't know if you should be screwing over these gangsters that are like shooting at your car, man. Maybe just give them the money. It's not even your money. Just give them the money. Like, what an idiot! No. And then he keeps fighting people, and you're like, this guy's a fucking idiot. pulling a gun on a guy in the bowling tournament. You're like, what the hell's wrong with this guy?
Right, lads. You're 3-1 down in a race to 4. Ted or Carl, you need the next 2. One of yous do to force extra time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're going to go with Walter here. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to start with Ted.
Yeah, so I was kind of bouncing around for a few people on this. I had Jeremy Renner for a little bit, who I think would be okay, but I was like, he can play the serious character quite well, but I didn't think he played the lunatic part of the character well enough.
You know it's bad when the three others are just going, no.
No, but like what I was thinking was, like the guy can play a serious character, but like just
absolutely
not a nut job. So I was like, no. So I ended up with someone I don't know if we've used before in Lev Schreiber, I think is how you pronounce his name.
Lev
Schreiber. Yeah, I think he'd be quite good in there. Like he's a bit like, you look at him and you're like, that lad's a bit off the fucking chain there.
He's always cast as too serious or sinister, or I can't see, like there's a little bit of stupid humor in Walter there,
There is.
Yeah, but there's stupid humor in him when he's in Scream as well.
And in Ray Donovan.
Yeah, and Ray Donovan. I think he fits into this quite well. I could see him being like stupid enough to think we'll steal the money, but then kind of a badass enough to bite somebody's ear off and pull a gun on a guy in a bowling tournament because he may have stepped over the line.
I forgot about that.
Like, I just see him fitting into that so well. Like,
right. I went with someone who basically you've described. Will go from calm to really extremely angry in the drop of a dime.
Jim Carrey
has played serious and comedy. I don't think we've actually ever used them, which is surprising because he's actually a pretty big name. And I draw a lot of inspiration from, especially one of his films that he's done the last 2 or 3 years. I went with Adam Sandler, and the inspiration would be from Uncut Gems. Hopefully, you've seen that.
Good film.
Like he hit that type of intensity and suddenly anger and going off the handle and all that type of stuff.
I mean, if you're describing him going from happy to off the thing, would you not have just said Happy Gilmore?
Basically, any of his films, basically. But I meant more of a serious thing. That's more of a serious thing. But if it is on the comedy wise as well, which he can do, which Walter has a bit in as well.
Yeah, I think the issue with Happy, as you said, Greg, is probably it's a more of a comedy anger than like
which is why I didn't go with. I didn't mention
that's what I'm saying.
The comedy films. That's why I went with Uncut Gems.
It's more of a comedy.
Uncut Gems was very good.
Yeah, he deserved his Oscar for that, but he is Adam Sandler, so I'm not going to give it to him.
Absolutely.
So to me,
and sorry to cut in. Is that the first time we've used Adam Sandler?
No, I think
Greg
used them before. Greg used them for something before.
I got shut down.
Yeah.
Because you said that same point that he deserved an Oscar for Uncut Gems.
Yeah, he definitely did. He definitely did.
My turn, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the guy I picked again, he looks kind of similar, I think, to Walter. In what I see him as. So I was thinking, David Harbour could do it. With the changing up and really quickly. I just think he'd be good at that.
Well, it's a good show.
I thought.
Do you know what? I have David Harbour, right, as my pick.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
But Ted's getting the point.
Yes.
This is the first time. It's the first time I'm gonna. It's the first time I'm going to change my pick because I think he fits into that role much better, actually.
Yeah,
I would have never even thought of him.
Such a forgotten actor.
Like that's a pick and a half, and it's never happened. I don't think on the show.
No, I don't think we've ever switched. I think we've said we would, but
It does not happen once. I think you did it once, Ted, as judge.
So
No, I
you've
think he
just
said he would do
victory
it.
from me.
You've still got more chances,
That's not the point.
well, you should have picked Lev Schreiber.
Ted.
No
What
way.
a fucking show! I'll
I'm
give you
worried
that.
about.
What a show!
I am worried about the last one because I was saying to King before we came up, before you two boys joined, this character is so fucking hard. But when I was trying to think of how to cast him, I had loads of names and just.
I actually spoke to everyone in the group there during the week. So like one that I think if I was playing tactically, I'd go with, and then one that I think is the right choice.
if he's playing tactically, which means I'm the judge, we all know who the pick is.
I have a feeling I know who the pick might be if he's playing tactically, because I think I have it as a backup as well, but I don't think it works here.
Right. So you asked to go last on this one, surely for that point. Right. So King, I'm going to start with you.
Who are we going with the dude, is it?
The dude, yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, I still feel a bit hard done by the last one because you changed it.
I mean, it's never happened, but
well, there you go. I didn't even know it could happen. But anyway,
we have said it on previous shows that it could happen if a pick.
Right. Fair enough. Okay. So we're going with the dude. I'm going with someone in and around the same age group as Jeff Bridges at the time. I think he could look very like him as well, and he can do the boys thing, and he's not a stupid stoner actor, like, you know. It's Bradley Cooper.
Oh, shout. Ted?
Yeah, so like as I was saying, I found this one very difficult to do because obviously the character is just, you know, it's a stoner character. So I was trying to think through people who would play that. One person I had that I didn't pick was because I think he's currently in the bad books. So Danny Matheson, I think, would have been very good for this if he wasn't a baddie.
Oh, he's a boldy.
Yeah,
he's a real boldy.
I'm not talking about what he did. You can look it up. He's a baddie.
Kid stuff. You don't want to go near that.
Yeah, he's a baddie. But as playing that type of character, he did it quite well in that 70s show is kind of what I was thinking. I'll tell you the one that I felt would be good for this, but I don't think anyone would have picked because it's not really a character that was used for very long. But Fat Thor would have been very good for this. But I don't think you can get Fat Thor.
Chris Hemsworth, will you play Fat Thor in Big Recastbowski?
Tell me that character doesn't fit though. Fat Thor fits very well.
That scene when he's Fat Thor and he's on the mic to the little kid. I am Thor, God of Thunder.
I'll fucking kill you, man. Yeah, it's so good. Then you've got your other typical stoner actors like Seth Rogen, Jack Black, who I think would probably be like the tactical pick. He's probably
10 years too old.
No, Jack Black's not that old.
Age doesn't really matter in this.
Yeah, it's not a huge thing, but Jack Black is he's too excitable as an actor. Like I couldn't see him being a real chilled stoner. You know, he's a real excitable one. The main backup I had was actually in opposition to, well, not in opposition, but I played alongside Bradley Cooper in a film in Zach Galifianakis, who I thought could have been quite good for it. But again, it's not. I don't know if he's a big enough name to be the one to.
He's also very excitable.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Not very good.
Yeah.
No, not very good at all.
He's very good at a very particular role, but not for this. I went with someone who has played a stoner, but is also, I do think, a very good actor and in and around the age. Not the same body type, but that's not important to this role. In Matthew Lillard.
Good old Shaggy Doo.
Yeah, like he can play the stoner character, but he can play quite a serious character as well when he needs to. So, like, he just combined them. Like, we all know how good an actor he is, you know.
My tactical choice here was Chris Hemsworth.
Fat Thor.
I went with that, you know, because of Fat Thor, and you know he even gets referenced in Endgame. You know, it's like Tony calls him Lebowski. But that's not who I decided to go with. Who I thought was completely correct and right for the role. It's someone like Jeff Bridges who's not necessarily, even though it'd be go down as a comedy film, he's not necessarily a comedic actor. but he has played a stoner in films before, and you can play it off like that. I went with Brad Pitt.
Show.
I think he fucking nails this role.
Absolute shout and a half.
He's a bit jacked now, though, isn't he?
Not necessarily. I mean, he can tone that down, and he's wearing a bathrobe the whole fucking movie.
He's wearing a cardigan.
He it doesn't have to show that he's jacked, and we just said muscle type doesn't.
No, I know, yeah, but
count for this movie.
I'm just saying,
count in this role really.
Going around drinking White Russians all day.
Yeah, exactly, and you can see Brad Pitt doing that. I mean, if you take his role in True Romance, anything.
You're definitely hitting to the wrong crowd with a film called True Romance. I think
you never seen True Romance?
Fantastic.
Christian Slater.
So. Yeah,
it's amazing movie.
Tarantino.
It's not a romance movie at all.
It's really fucking good. You should give that a shout. That should be a one that we should actually do recast on this pretty soon.
It's very fucking good.
Yeah.
Well, lads, 3 good picks. Ted, unfortunately, I'm going to say you're the weakest of the picks. I like Lillard. Ew.
Yeah, I like him as a stoner, but like more of a serious actor, like a bit more serious than he was as Shaggy, obviously. But
absolutely, like he's a fantastic range actor.
Yeah, that's why I kind of felt he'd fit in here quite well.
Like if you watch him, if you've ever seen Without a Paddle, he's hilarious in that.
Yeah.
Cooper is a very good serious actor as well as comedy actor. And looking at him when he played the Sniper, American Sniper, he was very good in that.
He was jacked for that. Jesus.
He was fat in that.
Did not get. He was jacked as well, though. I mean, he had to put on a lot of muscle tone on his arms and shit.
What's his name? Chris Kyle or something.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt is a shout and a half. He was my backup.
Right.
So you're going to get a second point there. My pick, and I think he's all missed the trick, was Matthew McConaughey.
I think he'd be better stranger.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely not. You can picture him sitting there and just, it's literally like he's stoned off his nut for the whole thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey is a very good shout, to be fair.
I think he's the one that you pick to put in there. You put the name in, you put the actor who's, let's be fair, McConaughey's 100% better actor than Bridges is.
Yeah.
I think he fits that role perfectly. So we do have a first time winner on the show.
Me?
He almost fucked it away.
As I said, the dude was one I struggled with massively.
Oh, hold on, you didn't give me the point there, did you?
No, you were 3-1 up.
You were already 3. It was 3-2-1, so it's 3-2-2.
If I had given it to Ted, it would have went to extra time.
I get you.
Well, it's going to go to extra time anyway.
Yeah, well, we have to finish tomorrow.
We did say that whoever finished last was gone.
Yeah, so we're going to do
not gone, but doesn't have
next week. Yeah, so we're going to have to do the extra time between me and you, Carl.
Do the extra time, or will we just do the extra? King, do you want to put up the victory and go through the extra time? Do you want to lay it all down on the line?
Is he ballsy enough to go for it?
Maybe if I had a few other wins under my belt.
Well, I mean, you've still got 1 point. You only need 1 point to guarantee victory.
No, in for pound gone.
Oh, he's in.
Oh, yeah, good. I was going to say I would have done it as well. I'd have been like, the gambler in me couldn't help it.
This is a first for Recast.
We're a lot of firsts.
Yeah, I would have done it as well, to be fair, King. The gambler in me would have said, fucking go on, I'll beat the lads again. And then it might not work, but you got to have that confidence. I do think it is good that we're doing this, because I do think Maud got hard done by to not actually be included in the.
I just wanted to annoy you really by putting in the stranger.
I don't hate him. It's just everyone seems to think he's so important to it. I'm just like, nearly everyone else is more important than him. Like everything he does can be cut out.
So I'm just going to tick these off the list to make sure I have the 3 for extra time is Maud, Carl, and Brandt.
Yeah.
Carl is Ula, yeah.
Carl Hungus, yeah.
Yeah.
Carl Hungus.
That's his name, Carl Hungus.
Yeah.
I know. Right, lads. Seeing as I hated him as an actor when he was alive, he has a stupid part in this movie. We're going to start with Brandt. I fucking hate Philip Seymour Hoffman. I hate him.
He's a great actor.
He's a good actor. I don't take that away from him. And I don't like, there's a lot of actors I don't like. I just can't stand him in movies. I'm not taking away that he's a good actor. So Sherlock, I'll start with you as soon as you finish the last one.
Cool.
You'll all get a start. You'll all get to go first in this.
Yeah.
He's a weird character, let's be honest, in this. So I went with Mr. Kirsten Dunst himself, Jesse Plemons.
Fair enough. It's a good show. King.
So did I.
Ted, clean sweep.
No, I did not go with Jesse Plemons. I went with someone who actually looks relatively like Jesse Plemons, but isn't Jesse Plemons. And it's someone we haven't used before, Eldon Henson, who is, what would you, he's in the Mighty Ducks, but I don't know if that's going to sell much because he's a child in it. So he's in Daredevil is the most recent thing. He was Fulton Reed in that, and he's Foggy Nelson in the Daredevil show.
He's in Idle Hands as well, yeah. That's old though.
I'm kind of thinking of him as the second in
command. He actually worked alongside Philip Seymour Hoffman in the Hunger Games.
Was he in the Hunger Games?
Apparently.
I don't remember him in the Hunger Games, but I'm sure if he
was, he's listed in them all.
Yeah, well, I'm sure if he did. Oh, he does. He's the mute in the Hunger Games. He has no tongue in the Hunger Games. I remember him now. I do remember the character he plays now. Always plays like a sidekick character, which is basically like this guy's a fucking not a butler. I don't really know it, like secretary maybe, but like not sitting at a desk. That's kind of this character, isn't
it? Kinda. It's a stupid character.
It is.
What a big actor to get in for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is why I didn't choose someone unknown, which is why I went for Jesse Plemons. And he does take this type of role.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say Eldon Henson is unknown. I know maybe he's not as well known, but he's definitely got a name out there.
I had Jesse Plemons.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying like I don't think Jesse Plemons is a bad shout either. To be fair.
Yeah, I think it was the easy choice for me to put him in.
Yeah,
he seems to be becoming one of my favorite to use. I use him quite regularly. Same as Charles Dance.
Mr. Kirsten Dunst himself.
Is that who he's married to, is it?
Yeah.
Punching above his weight there.
Not doing too badly for himself, is he?
You know?
Jesus Christ, Cal, you put it all on the line. You needed 1 point, and you still need 1 point.
Oh, Jesus.
Here we go.
Right, we're going to go with Carl Hungus here.
Okay.
Ted?
I went with Dean Winters, who's the Vulture in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Just kind of a seedy character. I did have backups in like Michael Shannon, but I think the roles maybe
Shannon might have been a good show.
I think the roles maybe a little bit too small for Shannon, though, is the only thing I was thinking. Again, this is like a 5-minute job. So
there's a lot of those characters in this.
Yeah, there is. So I kind of felt Michael Shannon maybe is a little bit too big. Like you wouldn't want to blow your budget on Michael Shannon in that role is kind of what I was thinking. So I went with someone who's definitely not as well known in Dean Winters, but is definitely that kind of seedy character.
Okay. King?
This was one I had a bit of a difficulty with. And I picked a guy, I can't remember who it was. So I went to this fella in the end because I kind of knew him. Michael Smiley is his name. He's a Scottish actor. He was in Dexter, not Dexter. The thing about Idris Elba, Luther, and he was in a few other smaller films. One of those kind of smaller actors, you know.
Are you mixing up? Idris Elba wasn't in Luther, was he?
Yeah. So this guy was his kind of technical fella. Can you see that? No.
I know.
I'm just looking up who he is. Yeah.
This was the one that caused me the most hassle, I think.
I went with someone who takes a lot of kind of bit part roles, but he's usually the arsehole, and he plays such a great arsehole in a charming kind of way. I went with Daniel Bruhl. You'd know him from Inglourious Bastards. He's the Nazi in Inglourious Bastards.
I think we've used Daniel Bruhl a couple of
We have
times.
used Daniel Bruhl before. Yeah, and he's also Baron Zemo in the MCU.
Yeah, no, he was very good. He was the guy who came in to get fucking Winter Soldier, wasn't
he? Yeah.
Baron Zemo, yeah. But like, especially in Inglourious Bastards, his role in that, he's just unbelievable. He's fantastic in that, and he'd do it great here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably the biggest name of the three, but he does do bit part roles.
Yeah. That's a tough one. Well, actually, it's not really, because I had Daniel Bruhl.
Okay.
I actually had Joe Jonas in for a while, and I was like, no. I just couldn't bring myself to put one of the Jonas brothers in.
That's
couldn't do it.
Okay, it's come down to this.
I'm going to sit this last one out, because we're now at 4-4 for the two Carls.
Ooh.
And the most I can get to is the most I can get to is 3.
So you're
like, if I get to 3 and the two boys end in a draw, we're kind of stuck.
True.
Because we'll have used all the picks. So I'm going to be judging the next one. So I may as well. I will give my picks as to what I had. But there's no point in me.
Oh, you're going to sacrifice your choice to point.
Yeah, like potentially leaving the lads in a draw is just, there's no point in doing it. So.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, then, do you want to give your pick just before I get the two lads argue it out?
Yeah. So Maud. So I was trying to. This character kind of, obviously, it's a very independent character. Like the whole thing, she lives on her own or whatever with people, secluded
King
from
forfeits.
her dad, from her dad, and then she has a kid from the dude, or she's trying to get pregnant from the dude, but she doesn't want him involved in the baby's life. She's very self-independent, is what I was thinking. So I had one pick that I think was probably quite good in Gillian Jacobs, but I don't know that Greg's really watched it. Greg hasn't watched Community, so he wouldn't really get the character from that, which is what she's kind of probably most well known for. Yeah. She was in Fear Street. She was in the second Fear Street, but that character doesn't really come across in that.
I've seen her in a few things.
But it's mainly Community that she comes across as that type of character. So I went with someone different that I don't think we've used before in Kobe Smulders, who is obviously in the MCU as the right-hand man to Nick Fury.
Yeah, good actress.
Robin from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah. I don't know if people have watched How I Met Your Mother, but yeah, Robin. But
she was a backup for mine.
Yeah, she's a very strong, independent character. So I was like, she'd be quite good at that role. But
so we're going to have a choice here. You're either going to have a breaking of the streak, or you're going to have a first-time winner.
Either way, it's going to be a Carl with a C. So.
Well, both of them are breaking a streak, to be fair. One just has a longer losing streak than the other.
Will my challenge pay off to get Carl to continue?
Imagine Carl, you won this and threw it on the line for a shot at the gold. Right, lads.
I baited you. And reeled you in. Let's hope it works.
Yeah.
King, you go first here.
Right.
Let's hope this isn't a draw, or else we're fucked.
I should have just said nothing. I
If this
just
is
won
a
the game.
Oh, imagine. I
If
didn't
this
think
is
about that.
if this is a draw, is it a triple threat next week?
No, it'll be a one-on-one.
No, triple threat.
Triple threat next week.
No winner.
against
You can't be like no
Okay,
winner.
I'll call it a no contest.
Wait,
So
if that's on the fucking table, I'm back in.
Not knowing that she was one of my backups. Absolutely not.
Well, she was already my pick anyway, so it doesn't matter. Like, I didn't find out until after I'd already cast that she was your backup.
Right. So, again, going for the strong type of woman who can be a bit vulnerable at times. It's a very, very small in mod, but you can see it.
I'm going to stop you. If you pick this person that I think you're going to pick, I'm going to give Carl the win now.
Well, let's see who he picks.
You know exactly who I'm talking about, Ted.
I do, but let's see who he goes with.
I went with Amelia Clark.
Oh God, eyebrows! Jesus Christ!
Who'd you pick?
Plus, I think she's kind of started retiring from acting already because she's, not very good.
Well, we know it's not a draw. I think she is a good actress. I will disagree with Sherlock there.
She was only good in Game of Thrones and nothing else.
This is all you need to be good in.
But she has tried to branch out into movies and failed in everything. Anything else she's been in, she's pretty bad. But that was a flop. That's the only Star Wars movie that has flopped.
Yeah, but I don't think that was necessarily her fault.
No, but it doesn't go well for her reputation. Like basically any movie she's been has performed underwhelmingly. And even though it is Star Wars and that wasn't her fault, it's still she was part of the cast and she was billed on it. I went with Emma Stone.
Emma Stone.
Okay, lads. Okay.
I don't think.
Can I give the point to Ted?
Yes. Yes, you can. And we go into a triple threat next week. Yes.
Here, lads. What the fuck is that?
There's definitely there has to be a winner here.
Make a winner. Make a winner.
So yeah.
Not a fan of either of those at all for this role. I went with Bryce Dallas Howard, who was obviously the anti in Jurassic World.
I had to choose my backup to Emma Stone.
And you went with Emma Stone over her.
Yeah.
I don't think Emma Stone's a bad choice there, to be honest.
I don't think Emma Stone's a good choice for that.
I don't think either of those are bad choices, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we've seen Emilia Clarke in Game of Thrones play the series. She go from vulnerable to severely mental.
Too quickly and terribly written.
I'm going to stop you there. It definitely was not too quickly. The fucking thing went on for about 20 years.
No, it did. Her turn from sane to insane was too quick, but that is not her fault. That was the writer's fault. They did that badly.
Sure.
Emma Stone is very good.
Great actress.
I go as far as a great actress, yeah. At certain roles.
She's quite versatile. She is very, very versatile.
You can be a versatile actor, doesn't mean you're great at every role. Do you know what I mean? If you're cast typed and are very well done at a time, like look at Jim Carrey. He went into horror when he done The Number 23. Do you know what I mean? But he's a great comedic actor. He's a very good serious actor. Was he the right part for The Number 23? Maybe not, but he done it to an extent. The movie was okay. Emilia Clarke was unfortunate that Solo flopped badly.
But so is all her other films.
They're the only two I've seen her in, Game of Thrones and that. Game of Thrones, apart from last season.
All she does, Bart, take away her Game of Thrones because she actually was directed well and that. And basically told everything that she had to do. All she does in movies is eyebrow act. All she does is with her eyebrows. That's all you can see anytime she's on the screen.
I think that's all you. I think that's
eyebrows.
all you can see. I think all you can see, Cam. Nobody else says that here. You're the only person who says that. You always say it.
It's just eyebrow acting. That's all she does. She's not a good actress.
I know, Carl.
No, I think you're the only person that consistently says that, Carl.
Watch it next time.
I've watched it since you've said it, and I still I do see that she does use her eyebrows, but I don't think it takes away from her being a good actress.
No.
I'm just checking one thing here before I make my pick.
Are you checking if Emilia Clarke is still acting? Because she is.
That's exactly what I'm checking.
Yeah, she has films in post-production, pre-production, so she is still acting.
And right. So I'm going with Emilia Clarke.
Yes.
She's 2 years older than Emma Stone, right? Who's the same age as the girl I cast as her dad's missus. I thought it'd be a bit weird if they were the exact same age.
Yeah, you should have gone younger for the dad's missus.
I probably should have, but Lily James was my pick for that. And I can't change it. Well, Kat, you tried your fucking hardest to throw that away.
Yes, I did. And that's probably going to be my modus operandi in this show.
Remember that one time I won an extra time?
I
remember I won in normal time, and then I had to win again. So that should be 2 times I won.
That was a good episode.
Yeah, really.
That was a different episode, and you didn't lose a whole season coming into this. This would be the new norm going forward if someone beats everybody.
Yeah.
Now the only thing is, Ted, you're going to sit out next week.
Yes, I'm sitting out, and Carl is judging.
Yeah, Carl will be the judge.
I'm the judge.
So it's going to be me against the King, 1-on-1 again, and then we'll start the rotation around. And if I beat the 3 boys, so we'll be back here.
I'll be then sitting out the week after, and then
you'll be in the week. You'll be in the week after.
You'll be in the following week.
The week after.
I'll be the judge, and then I'll be in the.
Whoever loses is out. Okay.
Yeah.
But if I manage to get through the 3 of yous again,
then triple threat again.
We go back again. It's just going to be the new norm, seeing as we adapted the King in as a permanent member.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Carl, normally the loser picks, but because it was a little bit different today, I am picking the movie we're going 1-on-1 against.
So that's a bit champion's advantage again, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's what you get for
beating the three.
I said it to you last week, and I'll say it to you again. If you want to beat a man, you've got to beat the man.
Bring it on.
Okay, so what are we going with?
We're going with Reservoir Dogs.
Ooh.
Make it easy on yourself.
Stick it up your arse, and I'll see you in the ring next week.
Kind of glad I'm sitting out next week now.
I'm ready.
I'm out.
I'm ready for this.
Yeah, but as always, tune in next week to see the lads do out Reservoir Dogs, and don't forget to like, share, follow all that stuff on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff, and don't forget to like and watch and share On the Slab, which is the boys' weekly horror show that comes out on a Friday night as well. So until next week, good luck.